This time on Roadkill, we bring a redneck limo back to life, drive 500 miles across California, and Freiberger makes his best pass ever in his 56 Chevy. Just not on this one. It was before, you should have seen it. It was incredible.
Did the drive shaft fall out of it? All right, Finnegan, you ready for me to get all literary on you?
Oh, I love this part of the show.
Here it comes.
Yes.
The best laid plans of mouse motors and men may often go awry.
Very smooth.
What do you think? Robert Burns, he was a Scot. It was a poem or something like that. It was
I
great.
believe you.
Steinbeck wrote a book later of Mice and Men. Anyway, the plan that completely went upside down on this episode is that we wanted to take my completely lovable 56 Chevy and race it at the last 4 drag strips in California that I've never been to. Unfortunately, there's like 80 to 100% chance of rain for the next few days, which means it's gonna be completely dry.
Yes, it usually works out that way.
It does. But we're on slicks, we have no side windows, it's gonna spray the whole engine with water, and we have no wipers. These sound like a lot like excuses, don't they?
Opportunities is what I like to think of them as.
Normal roadkill, we just hop in this thing. But instead, we have an even more absurd plan. First of all, we're gonna put this on a trailer. Second of all, we're gonna tow it behind Mike's new truck.
You love my choice in vehicles. I know you do. This is amazing.
It's amazing, I'll give you that.
Oh, so this is a 1986 Chevrolet Crew Cab Dually that might have been stretched a little bit into a limousine for a very specific purpose. And that purpose was picking up patrons from one bar to take them to a club where people might take their clothes off, allegedly.
This isn't making me want to ride in this truck.
Well, I'm sure they cleaned it before they sold it to me, you know? No, they didn't. They did not at all. And I don't know if it runs or drives. There's a car phone, dude.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, look, wood grain wheel.
I'm all in.
Two-tone velour, brown carpet, dude. I mean.
It's disgusting. It's a big block. Does it run?
I mean, it did when I bought it, but I let it sit here for probably a year, so.
Here's the thing about this episode is Finnegan is absolutely showing his ass.
I didn't see it at first, but yeah, that's Harry S.
He's cute.
So we're at Hot Rod Ranch here in Lompoc, California, and we've been here a bunch of times because Gil and his brothers have a knack for finding all of the cool automotive treasures. In fact, they were the ones that found the '66 Corvette that I bought that we fixed up on Roadkill and road tripped here. And the last time we were here during that trip is when I fell in love with this red behemoth right here. We're gonna try to get it running here today by dragging it in the building, and then we're gonna road trip it with Freiberger's car on the back until we can find a drag strip that is not underwater.
That's good.
That's good. Sweet.
This is my 1956 Chevy that we call the field car. I bought it years ago as a bare body with no front clip. And the thing is, it was mint, no rust whatsoever. Meanwhile, the Hot Rod Garage Show on Motor Trend had a 56 Chevy that they rebuilt, and it had a rusty pile of garbage for a body, but they made the frame great. So on an episode of Roadkill Garage, Steve Dulcich and I did a body and frame swap. We put the Hot Rod Garage chassis underneath my 56 Chevy body. Later on, we ended up installing what we call the COVID 350. It's a 350 small block Chevy that I built during the pandemic lockdowns, and I just used like spare parts in my garage to make that happen. It made 500 horsepower on an episode of Engine Masters, and it runs to 7,000 RPM. This car's great. I think the quickest that it's been at this point in the quarter miles, 11:45 at like 118. And that's why I wanted to drag race it this week. And I don't think we're gonna get a shot until the very end of the episode when they claim it's not gonna rain. Okay, battery. Is there a switcher? How does this work?
There's a isolator right there.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a solenoid there, and there's a button on the dash, and you can switch from battery to battery. I'm pretty sure this one is dead.
This thing has got the 454 carbureted engine with 230 horsepower.
It's slow enough that you don't need a battery hold down in this. You just put it in there and call it good, I guess.
All right, I'm gonna see if it'll crank. Oh, wow. Only has one dead hole. Hear how it cranks fast once? That's one cylinder with no compression. Starting fluid, maybe? That's a quad jet.
It's gonna be...
Install about a quart of gas in there. Ready?
Give it a shot.
That's gonna work.
All right. That sounds really bad.
Is this how it runs? Oh, the choke's completely closed. Hold on, let me get a screwdriver. See, it fires right up. Let me throw some more gas in it. Just a little splash.
Now we have fire.
Yeah, we do.
All right, we're troubleshooting. Why doesn't it want to run? Well, it's pretty apparent it doesn't have fuel going to the carburetor. We're not sure that both tanks have fuel in them. We're not sure that the switching selector valve between the tanks work. We're not sure the fuel pump's working. Is the ignition on?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and switch it.
Switched.
Switch it again. Oh, hold on. I don't think the fuel switcher's doing anything. Either it's totally dead back here or I don't have a good ground. I'm not sure which. I don't know, you may want to check fuses.
Okay.
Because nothing's lighting up back here.
Heater, stop hazard, taillights, gauges, and there's a bunch of other aftermarket wires going in it. We're trying to troubleshoot the valve back there that switches between the passenger and driver's side tank, and it looks like there's no power, so we've bypassed the fuse block. Okay, it should be hot now, and we're jumping from the battery direct to back there, and then we'll see if this thing clicks up here and if it does anything. I clicked.
I don't think there's doing anything.
Then it must have another power wire. All right, we messed with that valve in the back. The next thing I'm gonna do is take off the fuel line at the carburetor to see if it's even squirting fuel.
You got a really good rhythm.
There's no fuel in that carburetor.
I'm gonna regret saying this out loud, but rarely has a problem been so obvious that I actually solved it on the first try. I crawled under the truck, trying to find a fuel filter, couldn't find one, but I grabbed this piece of hose, this one little piece of hose that connects the factory hard line from the fuel pump to the tank, and with 2 fingers I went, that's really squishy. And so I just replaced it, and when I was looking at it, I realized, oh, what? You can't see through this hose. So that's our clog. I have all kinds of fuel coming out of the factory hardline, nothing getting through this hose, and on the other side of this hose is our fuel pump. So we should be good now.
Finnegan found a guilty hose, so we're trusting that it's now gonna work. Ooh, I smell gas up here.
There we go. It's alive!
I have bad news.
The whole carb leaks?
The radiator's barfing everywhere, or something wet. See?
That's our fuel pump puking out of the little hole on the side of it.
Yes, it is. Oh, that's bad. We need a fuel pump.
We need a fuel pump. All right.
Hey, but your hose was a problem.
Right.
Right?
Well, our fuel pump's junk. We ordered a new one. We're waiting for it to arrive, and while I wait for that, I'm just gonna clean. Such luxury. Look at all the velour.
Our fuel pump arrived. While we were waiting, we loaded the 56 on the trailer. Now we're ready to make this change. I'm gonna clamp off the fuel line so that we don't have another big flood, and then I'm gonna force Mike to do this part of it. There you go.
Got it.
Great.
That's where the fuel was puking out earlier.
Okay, as I suspected, the holes in this fuel pump are not big enough for these bolts. They're drilled for 5/16. The engine uses 3/8.
There you go. That's the stuff. Solid.
The mechanical fuel pump is back in place, so we're gonna see if it runs. Pump it. No leak. It's working. You can hear it groaning a little bit, just like power steering does when you turn it all the way to the lock. That's the Hydro Boost, which is a system that uses the power steering pump to do the power brakes also. How do the brakes feel?
First 3 inches don't have anything, but then it has a pedal. I think they need to be bled.
It's drinking down the rear brakes.
It is? So we got a leak somewhere.
We can't catch a break because Roadkill, the master cylinder front half was bone dry.
Well, wheel cylinders in the morning. All right, so we'll stay in Lompoc.
All right, I'm done.
I had fun. I still love it.
It's the next morning, and big surprise, it's still not raining, but we're still working on the truck. Last night, we discovered that the brake pedal goes right to the floor, and one of the master cylinder reservoirs was completely dry, so we're gonna take apart the back brakes and have a look. One down, and now the spidery one. What we're dealing with here is what's called a full floating axle. This design prevents the weight of the vehicle from being carried by the axle. It's got wheel bearings in it, very similar to what you'd typically find in a front drum brake. And it's gonna be a pain in the neck to get apart. There's a adjusting nut in here and we don't have the tool for it, so I'm gonna be chiseling it. Now this should rotate. Okay, there's that. And that, and don't lose that. There we go. Yep. Okay, that's leaking bad. There's brake fluid all over the shoes. I'm seriously worried about spiders here.
When we have brake fluid, that's good news. Things are looking up. We have figured out what's wrong with the brakes on our truck. First, the inner seal for the bearing on the drum was blown out and it was leaking gear oil all over. You can see how messy it is, but also our wheel cylinders were junk and they were leaking everywhere. But we got really lucky because local parts store had brand new ones from Duralast. Old Chevy Crew Cab Dually, not real popular. So the fact that we're able to walk into a parts store and get these bad boys brand new is very good. So we're gonna put these in and keep on trucking. Our brake drums are now ready to be installed. We sent them out to Pacific Brake and Tire here in Lompoc because not only did the drums need to be turned because they weren't round, but the oil seal was stuck in there and we couldn't get it out, and the bearings needed to be repacked. So this is ready to go right back on the truck. And then all we gotta do is bleed the brakes and drive out of here someday. Okay, that drum is in there. The hardware is in there. We are making progress.
We have the brakes all reassembled, and it feels like I have an air bubble about this long in the system. So now we're gonna go bleed.
The horn works. Down.
Up.
Up.
Down. Okay, that's it for this side. It's getting pure fluid now.
I'm doing a very important job. I'm setting our factory clock, which functions.
Down.
Down.
Bubbles.
Well, we have brakes, but we also have some kind of weird power steering.
This thing has Hydro Boost, which means the power steering actually activates the power brake booster. It can get air in it, and it's more of a complicated bleeding process than if you're just doing power steering. You have to fire it up with the wheels on dead center and then just move it back and forth really slowly and keep going further and further and further until you are going all the way around. No bubbles. We've got it all bled. There's no bubbles in the power steering reservoir, and it doesn't chatter when you steer it or when you put it on the brakes. The only problem that we seem to have It doesn't really want to take throttle, right? Oh, that's not bad.
That time it was better.
Yeah, we think maybe it's bad gas. Don't know, don't care. We're going to sleep, and tomorrow morning we will drive it for the first time. All right, first thing in the morning, we are test driving this thing, as promised.
It's in the sun. I don't know if it's gonna make it to the drag strip. It just, that's half throttle. Oh, there we go. There we go, all right.
How's the brakes?
Oh, brakes
great.
Money.
It's the best part.
I wonder if the fuel filter in that carburetor is clogged from that rubber hose that collapsed.
No, I'm thinking all we have to do is mix new gas in.
Okay. Oh, wait. Hold on.
There you go.
It's fixed.
Except for the death wobble.
Oh. Mud on the tires? Let's go with mud
Let's
on the
hope.
tires.
Yeah.
Mud on the tires, yeah.
That's 230 horsepower.
Yeah, I mean, it got better somehow by leaving. Now it accelerates great. 75, which is probably 70.
It's pretty smooth.
Yep. Maybe it needed to warm up and whistle while it worked.
Or maybe the choke needed to open. How about crack the vent window just a little bit? I thought you would know all these square body tricks.
Let's go hook a trailer to it.
Stop. Okay, we're good. And we're off. How's it feel?
Oh, dude, it's like it's not even there.
Oh yeah, people love it.
People love it, see?
Everyone's waving. They love it. Hello? It's the 56 Chevy calling.
What does it want?
It's collect. Yeah, I accept the charges. It says slow down so it can catch up.
I'm gonna floor it. Ready?
Yep. I'm ready.
That was it.
Go.
That's it. I mean, it's going.
It's on the wood.
There we go.
Oh, transmission shifts well. If the trailer was back there wagging, we wouldn't even know it or feel it.
This truck's so long, it probably won't let it wag.
I feel like my 56 is in another zip code.
You just made me laugh, and now I have the hiccups.
Now we're heading to Eagle Field, which is, surprisingly, a track I've never been to.
I didn't know that. I thought you'd already been here. How many drag strips have you been to, Dave?
106.
Whoa.
Yeah, Brian Loans and I collect them. He's way over 200 at this point. Even if they're closed, you can mark it on your list. You just have to have been there. And so I'm gonna be able to mark Eagle Field off my list, even though we're not gonna be able to race. I've also kept track of how many tracks I've actually raced down, because that's the only way I can beat Loans. And it's like 52 or something like that.
Oh, you've made passes of 50. That's impressive.
Something like that, yeah. 1.5 miles. Have arrived. Gates open. Wow, this is cool.
This is it, dude. It starts way back there. Yeah, this is the finish line of the track.
Okay. And this is an active airfield, so that's great.
I mean, I'm sure they can see this big red thing from the air, right? Stubby Bob's marks should be right out here somewhere. Oh, yeah.
They labeled the Stubby Bob mark for you with the water bottle. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Full on.
That's the trailer hitch.
Yep.
That is deep. If we were at a drag strip, they would have made me pay for that. And I would have just ran away, because that's expensive.
Hardcore. So this is where all 6 wheels came off the ground.
This is hitch dug in, stood straight up, motor trying to fall out of it, all 6 wheels off the ground.
Drive shaft wobbling around.
Yeah, this is, wow, I'm so glad we came here, because, what was that, 5 years ago?
We did some kick-ass wheelies.
Dude, we did.
Oh my God.
We did.
So this is Eagle Field. Like most airfields all over the country, this was a World War II deal. It was a training field. They taught kids how to fly planes. Wasn't really used as a drag strip back in the day, as many of these were, but in 2009, they started doing the retro drags here. And it's a big deal, and I've never been here before, but all my friends have. So super cool.
This place is awesome.
Let's go.
Dinner?
Yeah, dinner. That's bright.
Yeah.
This thing has been awesome. Actually mint until last night when we got off the freeway and it died a bunch of times and we don't know what's wrong with it. And the power steering's leaking all over the floor. So we're gonna have a look at spark plugs in the carburetor and junk like that.
What if when you took the air cleaner off and put it back on, one of the hoses just didn't go back on? We have a vacuum leak.
Oh, almost 90% probability.
Then let's not do the spark plugs.
All right, go for it. Let's pull the air cleaner off.
All right.
Yeah, we need a new filter too. Oh, there you go.
Vacuum leak?
Yeah, probably not enough to make a difference, but yes, that is a vacuum leak.
All right, where did that go to?
Right there.
All right, let's put that on.
The Quadrajet has a secondary air door in the back. It's kind of what opens and gives them that kind of sound when you're flooring it. And ours sticks open, which is going to give us issues. And so we're going to clean and lubricate that. I'm calling that fixed. Oh, there's no vacuum here. It's ported vacuum.
It's getting smoother.
It runs on 7, but it's good.
Seems good.
Let's go. Nope, needs a little bit more oomph. Ooh, that was close. There, boom! That was nice. Ready, Mike?
Ready, Dave. Let's go see another drag strip.
Kingdon Drag Strip is the goal. We're only 12 minutes away. Man, I thought we were gonna be able to go on the track at least.
You mean the airstrip? Where the planes are landing?
Right. At least in. Yeah, that's kind of the rule. You kind of gotta stand on the actual, like, plot of land.
This one won't count.
This one counts.
You're not standing on the starting line.
You don't have to stand on the starting line. We made it.
Kingdon Drags.
What counts as having visited a drag strip? I'm okay with finding a sign. I would rather be on the starting line. Unfortunately, this is an active airport. We don't really have permission to be here. We'll go look around and I'll tell you what it's all about.
See, now.
That's the starting line right there.
Now you can claim it, because we're over here.
Wait, I have to touch the tarmac. Ready?
Right.
There. We're not allowed to go further. This was a Army airfield. It was actually called the King Bury Auxiliary Airfield when it was first founded in World War II. Later on, it changed to Kingdon, obviously. Here's the good part. You know who Big Daddy Don Garlits is, right? Don Garlits, arguably one of the greatest racers of all time. People call him the greatest drag racer of all time. But he was kind of nobody here on the West Coast in 1959 when he came out and raced at Bakersfield at the March meet. So he shows up out there with his dragster, and all of the Californians, first of all, they call him Don Garbage, and they just smoke him really badly. They beat him, and he's like, I can't have this. So Garlits goes to Iski Cams down in Los Angeles, puts a supercharger on his car for the very first time. That's why the Californians were beating him. They had blowers, he didn't. And so, 2 weeks after the March meet, he comes right here, and this is where Big Daddy Don Garlits ran a supercharged Hemi for the very first time.
Oh, that is cool.
We should roadkill this.
Yeah.
I wish to death I was racing my 56 here. I guess our last chance for drag racing, it is gonna be Reading Drag Strip, where we have actual permission to be on the track and run my car.
Oh, well, let's go there then.
200 miles away.
Nice.
This thing is huge.
She's beautiful.
Ask me how many drag strips I've been to.
How many drag strips have you been to, Dave?
108. That's a recurring gag, by the way. 106, 107, 108. Tomorrow will be 109.
Oh, STD. Stripper truck diesel.
I have the keys. I dropped the keys. So it's my turn?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I got you something. It's
Oh,
random.
Thanks. Didn't know you cared.
I care that much.
Feels so Christmassy.
I'm not gonna ride shotgun. I'm gonna take full advantage of the situation.
Sir, may I take you to the airport?
Drive, James. Don't talk, just drive.
Oh, this is my first time driving this thing. Okay, here we go. This is long.
Whoa, easy there, guy.
Hey, brakes work pretty good.
Dude.
What? I'll just cruise the roundabout while you're figuring it out and having your first course.
Nope. This is life. Oh, hold on. All right. I'll save that for the dog. Oh, man. It's good to be me.
This is actually plastic. Not even scented, not even flocked. Oh, we're screwed. And we're running out of gas. Oh, no steering, no brakes. I was driving this thing along. Finnegan was asleep in the back. It's my first time at the wheel. The truck dies. I pull it over here into this really awkward, bad situation, and it's puke and power steering fluid everywhere.
Yeah, Freiberger broke it.
I'm hoping it did that just because I was steering the thing without the engine running.
Dude, I know. You give the guy the keys for 3 miles. Well, look what happens.
Anyway, we had gas with us.
I can't even have a nice meal. You know, can't even eat it while it's warm.
All right, this thing's been getting about 5.5 miles to the gallon. That picked up.
All right, we have 3 gallons. We need to hurry to a gas station.
I hope we make it.
We got this. It's the greatest truck ever!
This is it.
Reading drag strip. That's a cool sign.
That's really neat. We made it. The final drag strip on this particular journey.
It's gonna be a good day. This is the kind of air to make horsepower in.
Finnegan, ask me how many drag strips I've been to.
Freiberger, what does this make? How many strips?
109! And finally, on this trip, we're gonna get to race the 56.
There we go.
The density altitude right now, which is like altitude corrected for temperature and pressure, is below sea level. So if it will hook up on a cold track, the 56 should run quicker than ever. I'm gonna put on my race suit because it's cold.
Yeah, you are wearing flip-flops, brother.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed.
I'm gonna unload the 56 and we're in action.
All right.
Yeah. Will it run in this freezing cold weather? When a track is cold, you can have dew problems and also the glue isn't sticky. So we're gonna wait for that to warm up. And while we are, I have to fix some stuff on this. I wanna change spark plugs. The last guy who drove it was Gil from Hot Rod Ranch. He ran it up at a Tucson Dragway event and it went 1170s, but he told me that it had a big misfire problem. These spark plugs are all really rich from running at high altitude at Tucson. And now we're at much lower density altitude, so there's more air, which will automatically lean it out. The next thing I'm gonna look at here is the rear shock adjustment. The last time we ran this at Famoso, it had too much separation. It was driving the tire into the ground so hard that it was like flattening the slick. And I think we found out that the optimum number of clicks on the QA1 shock is 6, so I'm just gonna verify that's where they are. 6. Okay, that's done. Man, Gil told me this thing had a problem where the ignition would just shut off, and I just experienced, it's like you're cruising along and it just goes, that's it. It's not like a misfire. It's like you turned it off, turned it back on really fast. I've gone through and checked all the connections. I can't find anything except for the main power to the MSD box is on the back of the ignition switch, which is super sketch. So we're gonna take a wire and run it all the way to the battery. I wonder if we can connect it right here.
Oh, yeah.
There are 2 red wires coming off an MSD box. One of them is switched to ignition. The other one is supposed to go straight to the battery. Mine goes to the back of the ignition switch, which is not the way you're supposed to do it. So I'm gonna fix it.
Okay. You look good. Just go fast. It's perfectly smooth. It's perfectly prepped. There's no wind. Feel good. You got this. a burnout right there, boy.
That didn't work.
So I think on his first attempt, he pretty much just dumped the clutch because it did a good job of smashing the tire into the ground and just spinning as it took off. He's either gonna have to leave it a lower RPM or ride the clutch out of the hole because it's really cold here.
Okay, that was a 4,000 RPM leave. Let's see what we can get.
Oh, it shut off!
Ah, did you hear it cut out? It totally cut off. Oh, that's annoying.
So our rewiring trick did not solve the problem of the ignition completely shutting off in the middle of the run.
Bummer. It spun a little bit on that 3,000 RPM leave. You know, the track is really cold. Looks like my belt didn't fly off because my temperature is good. There it did it again. Did you hear that? No idea what that's about.
Dude, not bad. It turned off though, didn't it?
It shut off.
Damn. You're on 1144 at $1.19, dude. It bogged. So you can go a little more in between. There's more in the launch.
But let's not overlook the fact that it just went quicker than it ever has been.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It sounded amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a time slip.
Oh, cool.
Data?
Show. So that's a mile an hour quicker than or faster than it's been. Did you hear it shut off?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you fire it up and I'll jiggle this wire. Let's see what happens here. Okay. I don't see anything here. Why don't I go out there and jiggle the wires to the coil? It was on there between the plastic and the terminal. It wasn't in the terminal.
Oh. Let's pinch those down and make them go on tighter.
Okay. You got this. More cowbell, it'll go faster.
All right, first launch was 4,000. Second launch was 3,000. We're gonna try 35.
Okay, pass number 3. We just tightened up some connections on the coil, went through all the connections on the ignition box and ignition switch. It all seems to be pretty good now. He's gonna raise the launch RPM about 500. I think it's gonna go quicker.
That is so annoying. Okay, we're gonna have to look into that ignition switched wire.
You're lined up on bald spots out there, whether it's the middle or the left.
I think we need to chase the ignition wire to the box now.
This thing's making some power, man. It's running more mile an hour than it ever has. Need to work on the whole shot a little bit, but more importantly, it just keeps turning off right around the top of third gear every pass. And so we've looked through all the wiring as best we can. We're now gonna isolate the ignition wiring for the ignition box from everything else in the car. We're gonna add another toggle switch in the car that'll just turn the box on and off, go make another hit and see if it shuts off again. I think you just need more laps in this thing and it's gonna do it.
It just cut.
It just cut off while he was doing the burnout. He's gonna go anyway. $11.70 at 119. It didn't sound like it shut off. It did bog when he left the line though.
So I bank shift 1-2 and it slipped the clutch. So after that, I started granny shifting it. Probably not gonna add up to my best pass. It spun the clutch on the 1-2.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yep.
It didn't sound like it shut off this time though.
It didn't. It shut down a couple times on the way down, but it didn't do it down the track.
That's so strange.
It is so strange.
Well, I just say go again and have fun.
I will, but I think we're gonna kiss my clutch adios as I do.
It just keeps getting worse, man. We just keep getting roadkill. Hey, what if the coil's taking a crap?
Maybe. We're still having that ignition cutout problem. We've fixed every wire we can fix. So now we're changing the ignition coil. And if that doesn't work, then our only hope is the ignition box, but we're also running out of time here.
It's brand new to us, but it's chrome, and chrome always works.
You know where that came from? It came off that fire truck right there.
Fire truck's gonna save the day. Hopefully, you know, not later on the track, but like right here, right now.
Yeah. It's shutting off still.
Yeah, all right. I'll take it. I'll take it. 11:49, real close to his PB. Still turning off though.
Our last choice is to change the ignition box.
Why not?
I
Let's
know.
do it.
Fortunately, the guys here at Reading Drag Strip said that they could actually dial us in with a box exactly like the one we have. So I say let's give it a shot. We're down to 45 minutes. Make it happen.
Let's speed things up. You back up. That's where the tools are.
But hey, look at the bright side. The car already has run its quickest ET ever at 11:44, and I just went 11:49 at the same mile an hour, 119. So we're actually doing pretty good in a roadkill kind of way.
Now, we're taking the box out of the car and wire nut this other box in here and hope that solves the problem, because Dave, I think, has figured out the drag strip and the whole shot thing, because he just laid down his second best pass today.
You know what this car needs that would fix all of this? A blower. That would fix it.
Wow, what a day. Never forget, we have the coil out of a fire truck and an ignition box we borrowed from a bystander.
It hasn't popped yet.
This is gonna be great.
Oh, that was it.
We're out of gas?
No.
Let me see if the light is blinking on the box. Wow, it just keeps getting worse. Turn the ignition on.
On.
Go ahead and crank it. It's blinking. That's weird, dude.
That's got no spark. Nope. Pop the distributor cap, see if the rotor broke.
Okay, crank it. All right, hold on. It's on there. It's not loose. Rotor's fine.
You could change the pickup in the distributor.
Yeah, let's do that.
Here's the next step. I was pulling to the starting line, and the thing just flat died and won't refire and has no spark. Another one of the guys here at the track brought us a distributor, and we're gonna change the magnetic pickup inside the thing.
We're now attempting to change the magnetic pickup, except we can't get it out of our old distributor. So we're now changing the distributor. Once it comes out of the motor, we have to retime the motor.
So here's the other thing. That has a bronze distributor drive gear on it right there, and you can see that our new distributor has a steel one, and that's not gonna work with our solid roller camshaft. So now we have to put that gear on this distributor. Ooh, nice.
Beautiful.
Okay.
All right, that's our gear going on his distributor.
Here's one thing to know when you're doing this. A factory Chevy distributor has a 0.491 inch shaft in it, and the aftermarket MSD one, and most aftermarket ones, is a 500 shaft. So that's very, very similar, but it will mess you up if you're trying to change these gears and have the wrong thing. All right, let's go.
Sweet.
Oh, dude.
Nice. Which one's number one?
One.
Okay, so here's two.
Cranking.
There's no spark, dude.
This is ridiculous. We just spent all that time changing a distributor, changing the coil, changing every bit of wiring, and it was that we had 2 ignition boxes that failed. At least that's what I think. Maybe this one's gonna die too because of something we did wrong. I don't know. Okay, it's got vacuum advance, so you have to give it about 4,000, I think. Okay. Okay, let me tighten that down. Ah, boy, was that a thrash. 3 ignition boxes to make this happen, man.
Come on, Freiberger, you can do this. Yes, 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 yes! No! Good shift, come on, come on. Woo! 1138, 120, new PB, no more boxes in this car, done.
That wasn't my full-on bang shifting best. I was a little nervous after missing that 1 gear. All the vitals look good. Ooh, the clutch is not awesome. But you know what? It didn't misfire on the way down.
That was great.
Did we actually win?
Yeah, man.
What did it do?
1138 and $120.
Nice!
New PB.
120!
Yeah, man. Left like a boss. They'll let you go one more if you want.
Awesome. Okay, let's go.
I knew it. All right, we're gonna go one more, and then we're drinking heavily.
See if we can do it again, only better.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, I wheelied. It wheelied. Yes. 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 Nice. 121, dude. It went even faster.
That was bang shifting right there, man. The clutch slipped, but that was bang shifting. No lift. The greatest thing about this car is how the front end rises when you bang second. So fun. This car's awesome. You know what? That was a long way to go, but all of that work was worth it. That is a Roadkill win. Finnegan's super truck dually towed flawlessly all the way here, and then we finally sorted out the field car. Woo!
Dude,
What was it?
it went 121 and change. It went
Really?
1141. You were off 300. It's no big deal.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I was bang shifting that
Oh,
thing.
that was the most violent shift I've ever seen out of this car.
I did not mess around, and the clutch slips between every single one of them.
Yeah, well, you can hear it flare, but
Yeah.
I think that might actually be helping you.
Maybe.
Keeps the RPMs up, you know?
That was some of the greatest bang shifting of my life. And it's all in one piece. It's got everybody else's parts all over it, but it's all in one piece. I feel that was a win, and we're quitting while we're ahead, which is unusually responsible in season 12 of Roadkill.
Yeah, we're getting more mature.
Nah.
2 more burnouts is what you're saying.
No. Out.
Oh.
Let's pack it up.
Okay.
Man, that was fun.
It was awesome. Thank you for watching Roadkill.
Cool.